So day 2, have your students sit with their 2 o'clock partners. They're going to be confused that you're going to ask them to reflect on day 3, but remind them that this is an intensive course. Take attendance, do the sushi pay, go over the agenda, and then the first thing they're going to do, you're going to tell them to take out your cell phones, put them on your desks face up, and when I walk around, I want you to show me your Canvas app and your Genius Scan app. After you've shown me it, you're going to put your cell phone away, and you're going to go to Canvas, and you're going to check your comments. A lot of the students don't know where to find that. It's under submission details. So have them spend some time checking to make sure that they've done what they're supposed to do. And then when they've finished that, put their laptop lids 45 degrees. This is going to be a little difficult, a little challenging for our students, especially because they might not be used to our laptop protocols. So be patient with them, but also enforce that laptop protocol, because unfortunately they will use their laptops to game, to text each other. They're pretty sneaky. We just have to be really on them about that. Then with their 2 o'clock partner, they're going to engage in a bell ringer, go over this Tuesday. They don't have their laptops, so they have to figure out themselves, and ask them for about 5 minutes to consider what are some connections that they have. The more bizarre, the better. And then ask around, who here thinks they have the craziest connection, right? Then we're going to connect with our bell ringer, see if they did the thing that they're supposed to do at the beginning of class. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. A lot of students are going to make the obvious connection that if you don't prepare for your classes by doing homework or studying, you're going to fail your tests and ultimately fail the class. That's nice. But what's the connection to rules and teachers? What does failing to prepare look like as a rule? And I think a lot of students are like, oh, like I need to have a good attitude. I need to come to class with all my materials. Like, teachers have rules and they enforce rules because it's helping us be prepared for life. And in order for us to be successful outside of school, we have to have certain behaviors. And that's really what we're going to hone in on. Go ahead and go to Canvas, Modules, and Calendar. I'm going to put the laptop lid it should already be 45 degrees. This is where you can stop sharing your screen, go to your dashboard, and say, hey, what is this thing called? What are these things called? They should be able to tell you, oh, this is a course card. What's this that's going to pop up? It's a landing page, because you already went over those things. Then you want to say, okay, the couple things that we didn't go over is modules. Here we have modules, and modules are usually organized by unit. If I were to put this in student view right now, you can't see any of them, but on this day, they should be able to see day 1, day 2, in module scavenger hunt, but day 3, day 4, and day 5 will be blocked. And that's because it's content that they have to get to over time. So explain to them modules really organize everything from slide decks to in-class assignments to homework to any materials that are relevant to the class. A lot of teachers do it by unit. And then finally, we also want to talk about this calendar situation. A lot of my students will tell me, you didn't assign me anything for homework, and I say, show me your calendar. And the reason why I do that is because I want them to recognize that if this is unpublished, I don't have any assignments. But the moment that I click on it and it has a color assigned to it, then I get to see my assignments. This might feel very overwhelming to our students, but tell them it's going to be okay. A lot of this we're going to get done in class together. So once you've gone over the calendar, let's go ahead and tell them you're going to go on a module scavenger hunt. It's the 3rd module below day 2. And I want to see if you can complete 3 out of the 4 assignments, and maybe you can even get to the special sauce. So I want you to notice that this assignment requires them to finish it step by step. If your students are having a horrible time with Lockdown Browser, it's okay, because you have control over your Canvas page just as much as I do. It's totally fine to take off Lockdown Browser on the quiz titled, Are You Locked In? So these are the directions. Right here, are you locked in? And then they have to score at least a 3, which means they can take it more than once. Are you calendared? So these are like screenshot. This is a Genius Scan, redirections, take a quiz, screenshot, and then this is a quiz game that they can do. A lot, 10 to 15 minutes. If kids are having an issue, have them pair up with one another. They're already with their 2 o'clock partner. Ask for help. Also, I would say, another thing you can consider is if going to the tech office if your students are having real issues. We're going to say, okay, now what we're going to do is submit an assignment. So we're going to first go to a third-party platform called Canva. Does anyone know what Canva is? Yep, beautiful, beautiful. It's WYSIWYG. It means what you see is what you get. Non-Photoshop users love Canva. They're going to create an account with their Loyola Gmail because we want them to get into that habit. Then we're going to create a design post, an Instagram post, and we want it to include the memoir, their name, submit as a file attachment, and then also we want to, grade them for creativity. It should be aesthetically pleasing. There shouldn't be any watermarks in the background. And this is a real, free design period, so then give them the full 25 minutes to explore and express. Once they're done, they can go ahead and work on other assignments, and then give them that bio break so they can stretch outside, do what they got to do. Next, when they come back, have them sit with their 9 o'clock partner, because this is going to be what day 4 CY1 looks like, and we're going to go over Gmail, give you some time for the Canva assignment and metacognition. So when we do this, I would say what's most useful is to not over-explain Gmail. Just go to the Gmail, go to your Gmail, rather, and just say, okay, when I compose a message, if I'm doing it for a teacher, like let's say you're writing it to me, Randy Lopez, it's my first initial last name at loyolahs.edu. But if I'm a student, let's say I'm Kyriakos Vidalakis, notice that Kyriakos, period, so first name, period, last name at lhsla.org. So different endings to their emails. Ask them what CC stands for, see if they know. This is carbon copy. Why do you think someone carbon copies somebody onto an email? It's not directly for them. It's to keep them in a loop. Why do people blind carbon copy people? It's to keep them in the loop but not necessarily let the other person know that that's what they're doing, right? You can go over that. Next thing I want you to do is all right, everybody, you already have your avatar on your Canvas page. Let's go ahead and add our avatar to our Gmail. A lot of kids are like, do I have to do this? Yes, we have to do it. And the reason why is we want to see our students' faces. Especially, this is really important, not necessarily for the teachers, but for the coaches, for the people that work in certain offices. There are so many kids that go into their space that they don't recognize, so it's helpful to have a face and name moment, experience, etc. Once you review those things, right, you're next going to give them a situation that you believe that your instructor misgraded an assignment with your partner, draft an appropriate email using the guidelines highlighted in the email etiquette document. Stop here and either have the 9 o'clock partners read the email etiquette together, or as a class, have one kid do one bullet point. Give them the time. This assignment is going to take 20 minutes, and it's honestly, to draft an email takes 10 minutes. So take 10 minutes, have them read it through, and then tell them, all right, now we're going to do this. You're going to write an email, and this is what I'm grading you on. Does it have an appropriate subject bar, an appropriate greeting? Does the message make sense for the situation? Did you close the email appropriately? Did you check for spelling and tone? Does it seem demanding? Do you have an appropriate avatar? And did you carbon copy your partner on the email? Go ahead and do that. Make sure for this one, this is old, so I'm going to delete that. Email to, and then you're going to put your email here. So I'll just actually add Randy's for. There we go. Beautiful. I'm going to hyperlink it as well. Okay. So once they've done that, they might be like, what do I do? I'm done. Or my group is done. Great. Work on any assignments that you haven't finished yet. And they have a homework assignment that's due for tomorrow because they have a quiz. So tell them that they shouldn't be doing anything not productive at this time. They can either work on their Canvas assignment, they could look ahead and work on homework that's due for tomorrow, whatever. Give them until about, 12:15, 12:18, and give them a hard stop, and then work on this metacognitive exercise. Ask them what it means. It's thinking about thinking. The picture is going to help them, or thinking about their learning. Have a student read this. go through the cycle, read the steps, and then talk about this quote, we must be taught how to think, not what to think. And that at Loyola, the temptation is to believe that what your teachers are doing are just instructing you on the what. But really our job is to help them figure out how to apply critical thinking skills to other situations, because not everything we do in school is applicable to what our future careers will look like. So the strategies are what we're focused on. So we're going to have them reflect on their day 4 page of their planner. We're first going to evaluate their experience of CY1. Take a minute for each question. What did you already know about before CY1? Write it down. What have you learned? What's new? Write it down. How can you prove that you learned it? Tell them that this is key. A lot of students don't realize that they think they learned something, but they can't prove it, which means that they haven't learned it. So emphasize to them, how would you show me that you understand what a course card is? Tell me, that you get email etiquette. What's your proof? What's still fuzzy? What needs clarification? These are the things that you might need to ask additional help for, and we want to strategize around that. Like, what are you going to do to improve these areas? Who are you going to talk to, right? And how do you plan to do that? You've got a week of this course, so let's do it together. Once they've done that, last couple minutes of class, have them use Genius Scan, submit it to metacognition, week 2. I think it should say day 2. And then tell them that what's due tomorrow is their 6-word memoir, their day 2 homework, which we talked about as being potentially what they do during their independent time. They have a quiz on their homework, so it's incumbent on them to make sure that they complete their homework so that they know what's going to be on the quiz. And